Charles didn't just undercut Meghan Markle's blushing rosé debut, he dismantled it with the calm, unshakable hand of a man who's played the game for decades. It wasn't loud, it wasn't flashy, it was a velvet-gloved slap disguised as a discount. While Meghan's American Riviera Orchard Rosé floated into the Instagram ether like an anthropology hallucination, all sunset lighting, gauzy linens, and wicker baskets curated within an inch of their algorithmic life, Buckingham Palace countered with pure monarchy. No hashtags, no launch party, no sponsored reels under golden hour. Just this. 15% off Duchy Organic Sparkling Rosé. Same day, no press release, no influencer collab, no camera-ready toast under fairy lights. But here's where it became surgical. The discount only applies when you buy 6 bottles. Not a sip, not a sample, a case. That wasn't a promotion, that was a proclamation. A monarch's way of saying, you want a rosé war? Let's pour. This from a king who has weathered a bruising divorce in front of the tabloids, the saintly shadow of Diana, the firestorm of Megxit, Netflix docuseries, memoirs, talk show sit-downs, and most recently, a $49 jar of jam with no UPC code. And yet, he plays the long game. This is how real royalty asserts itself. Not for relevance, not for reinvention, for legacy. Because this wasn't about rosé, this was about realms. Tradition versus trend, monarchy versus marketing, legacy versus aesthetic. And in the quiet, brutal theater of public perception, the scoreboard lit up before the clink of a single glass. King Charles' Duchy Originals wasn't born from a marketing brainstorm. It sprouted from conviction, from compost, from consequence. Founded in 1990, in an era before the phrase personal brand meant anything beyond cattle, it was the passion project of a prince who believed in soil. Back then, organic was a fringe whisper. Charles made it a royal proclamation. While others chased buzzwords, he planted orchards. While others curated feeds, he cultivated farms. Every sale from Duchy Originals supports the prince's trust. Every bottle has provenance, purpose, and proof. His rosé? Award-winning, widely stocked, modestly priced, respected. No mystery, no manifesto, just craftsmanship in a bottle. Then came Meghan, armed with $49 jam jars, marketed like sacred relics, hand-delivered to 11 Instagram darlings like a modern-day Mount Sinai scroll. No website, no store, no public access, just vibes, aesthetic, and scarcity chic. The internet asked, where can we buy it? Meghan answered, you can't. Confusion bloomed faster than her brand. And before the jam even found shelves, she pivoted. Enter the wine. But the wine wasn't launched, it was teased. A photo so drenched in sunset it practically melted. No name, no vineyard, no vintage. Just linen, fruit, and a mysterious blush bottle that screamed mood, not Merlot. The feedback was swift. Looks like blush toner in a wine bottle. A drink for people who prefer photo ops to Pinot. The caption had more substance than the content. Meanwhile, Duchy Rosé sold out. Again, this wasn't brand warfare. This was a brand autopsy. Charles sells legacy. Meghan sells lifestyle. One crafts roots, the other curates reach. In royal strategy, nothing is coincidental. Every brooch is a coded message. Every balcony appearance, a PR gambit. Every silence, louder than thunder. So when Meghan posted her weekend feeling tableau, all strawberries, heirloom linens, and rustic lighting, that wasn't an Instagram post. It was a move, a challenge. And Charles? He didn't reply with a quote card. He replied with a Waitrose discount. No ads, no fanfare, just 15% off Duchy Rosé. Quietly applied, widely noticed. No fairy lights, no hashtag #CleanGirlRosé, no branded picnic. Just availability, confidence, and cold, calculated restraint. Meghan launched a moment, Charles launched a monarchy. And in the background, Harry, quiet, isolated, making solo appearances with the vibe of a man being slowly cut from his own biopic. No toast, no Instagram cross-promo, just distance. This wasn't a glitch. This was a fracture in narrative. And in the royal cinematic universe, when one character fades from frame, you're not witnessing a hiatus. You're watching a redraft. If Meghan Markle has one unbeatable skill, it's narrative pivoting. From suitcase model to Hollywood hopeful. From B-list actress to A-list duchess. From exiled royal to organic mogul. Each phase follows a formula. Join the structure, exploit the halo effect, exit dramatically, rebrand solo. Trevor Engelson? Gone. Her father? Ghosted. Old friends? Left behind in pixelated memories. And now, Harry. Her social media presence is almost entirely solo. Her business branding? Only her initials. Her product drops? No trace of we. The fairy tale once screamed, us against the world. Now it whispers, I'll show you who I am without him. He's not deleted, he's edited. Harry, once the draw, is now the blur in the background. Not divorced, just sidelined. While Meghan courts likes, Charles courts legacy. Behind closed palace doors, his funeral is already rehearsed. Every hymn, every flower, every nod to history choreographed like the final scene of a Shakespearean tragedy. It's not morbid, it's monarchic. Even Harry and Meghan have assigned roles. Even Archie and Lilibet, tiny figures in a future frame, are accounted for. Why? Because kings don't erase, they record. Charles doesn't swipe, he archives. He doesn't chase reactions, he constructs remembrance. And while Meghan tweaks branding on Canva, Charles tweaks dynastic permanence, because monarchy doesn't care who trends. It cares who endures. There was a time Harry walked behind Diana's coffin, his head bowed, but his spirit revered, a prince of the people. Then came exile. Then came deals. Then came drift. Netflix, Spotify, Invictus. Momentum that started hot, now tepid. His role, no longer prince, not quite pundit, no longer rebel, not quite respected. He is transitional. In Meghan's world, he was the vehicle. Now he's the passenger, maybe even the liability. He traded a throne for a cause and found himself living in a content loop he doesn't control. And yet, here she is, always viral, always noticed, always narrated. Because Meghan doesn't need loyalty. She needs traffic. She doesn't sell legacy, she sells engagement. A jam jar with no buy link? That's not failure, it's strategy. A wine with no name? That's not confusion, it's bait. She doesn't need you to buy it, she just needs you to talk about it. Every tweet, every roast, every podcast dig, that's oxygen. She isn't trying to win the throne, she's dominating the dashboard. In that game, she's queen. So, who won the Rosé War? King Charles, unshaken, strategic, silent, a monarch who moved pieces, not pixels. His rosé sells legacy, and legacy always finds a buyer. Meghan Markle, disputed, divisive, dominant in data. Even missteps are monetized. Even backlash is bankable. Prince Harry, faded, floating, the once beloved prince, now a man between kingdoms, between relevance and retreat, between plotline and footnote. He left the crown for control, but in the world of influencer warfare and infinite scroll, he's learning. The throne disappears, the narrative moves on, and the camera never lingers. He didn't just leave the monarchy, he left the plot.